What's up, you guys? It's me again with the chirping alarm. So, I'm gonna change that one eventually. And then, well, almost at the end of this year. So, that being said, um, this is part two called There's Nothing Wrong to Be Sensitive, and Here's Why. One, we can't really tiptoe or doing army crawls around our trauma or what I mean by that is we can't escape from trauma. We can't escape the incidents that we are running into. So trauma is inevitable, and that's the way of life. It's just the way we have to find recovery. You have to find, good recovery instead of bad recovery, which is drugs, of course, and going out and going to clubs, of course. So we can't really escape, the realities that we're facing and our coping mechanisms. It depends on our how we cope with things. You know, we can't really be defensive all the time. That's what narcissistic gaslighters do. They know when to cope or know how to respond to stuff that hurts them the most. And when it hurts them the most, they get into their feelings and retaliate out of nowhere, which is bad. So, who wants to be around a person who's toxic and don't know when to face their trauma? My mom can't even face her own trauma, and not to admit she's doing good, but I don't want her to blurt out that she wanted therapy when she's not going or she don't have any interest of going. So I can't really convince her to, recover or go to therapy. So she gotta learn how to do it on her own. But she did do that, and she wanted because at the time I was going to therapy, and it was essential at the time that I needed to go. Put it that way. And my mom said she wanted to do therapy. I was like, okay, you can go ahead and do it, but don't just blurt it out because I'm going. I mean, that's just pointless. So, that's why I just, do what I do, doing things that are therapeutic to me. And on top of that, I'm going bowling later on today. We just got home from the grocery store and and y'all do dishes. Hold on, I gotta get me something to drink real quick. Just a moment. That tastes better. Just drunk some Boathouse Farms. I got the carrot turmeric ginger kind. Really tasted good. The ironic part is I'm wearing an orange shirt, in case anybody's colorblind. But I'm actually doing good. Slept better. Slept more peaceful. Um, but yeah, um, we're all sensitive to something or a situation that that are really touchy to us. But it's really up to us whether we have to recover or not. We have to. A lot of times we don't anticipate recovery. We anticipate, most of the time, like acceptance and people are judging us, and that's when the sensitivity comes in, especially when in our workplaces, when we have like not appraisals, but assessments, um, of our performance. Wherever, we do have pros and cons in our performance, but we just have to rectify them and acknowledge our errors in life. But, do we have to be sensitive about it? Yes, in a way, but at the same time, you know, there are things that need to be recovered and, you know, expected to, just be acknowledged, if you will. But the only thing that gets us in the way is expectations. The reason why we are sensitive, to like things are not expected is because we just have like dreams and fantasies that want to be implied in reality, but in things aren't the way that you think they are. You can be a girl that you had a crush with in high school, and you asked her out, but she have no interest, or she has a boyfriend. Turns out, years later in life, she hits the wall. She don't know what to do with herself. She has kids. You don't have any control of her personality. So, and that's one of the things of like, hitting our sensitivity points is, we can't really have control like of people's personalities. You're always going to have personality clashes in life, and that's the way it is. You can't ignore it. You can't ignore it. You can't avoid it. It's just the way it is. Whether they're grumpy, they're happy, they're sad, they're pessimistic, they're disconnected from reality, and you just gotta deal with those people. So, it is what it is. You just gotta like rub it off your shoulders and stuff. But, we're sensitive, most of the time, we're sensitive to physical pain. Especially us men, because, we have like certain points in our body that we're physically unstable to begin with, but so it's up to us to go to the doctor. And because we usually appear like we're limping or we're not in our greater states as we used to be. But it's up to us to like go to like the doctor and like check it out. But it takes like confidence and commitment to do it. It takes a man to like say no to marriage, because you already know how it is nowadays in 2023. Well, of course, men want to like, still get married and be stubborn of the signs and the red flags. But at the end of the day, we can't like beat around the bush of how we really feel and like towards like situations or like topics that need to be like confronted. It takes time to confront our situations. It takes years and decades to do that. I having trouble doing it. Everybody has trouble doing it. And I'm not afraid to speak out what I'm going through. or having, you know, again, this goes back to trying to talk about like how I almost deleted my mom. And everybody got real sensitive about it. My mom's still alive. So I wouldn't be talking to you guys if I ever did it. Duh. But people just got real, uptight and like took it the wrong way. I was going through something like I was experiencing verbal, physical, emotional abuse. I don't like my mom that way. I'm glad I have my own place. Just me, myself, and I. So, you expect me to love a toxic, narcissistic, egotistical mother that doesn't really care about her kids, especially her own eldest daughter. The same daughter that's trying to reach out back in 2021 when she was about to graduate from nursing school. And see how my sister is like sensitive. She felt pretty little hurt about it that she's trying to reach out to her mom, but that mother ignored it. And as a result, me and my sister get along pretty well. We got back talking to each other back in late April. Last April. And we had a good conversation. And it was April 10th, 2022. On a Sunday. I'll never forget that. And she explained the reasons why things hurted her and when it comes to her mom, our biological mother. My sister forgave, but my mom can't. That's the difference. That's the way I see it. That's the way how I was fed information from my sister. But you can't really, play devil's advocate or trying to agree what my mom did, to us, especially me. Really don't have no excuse of, having, trying to apply so much negativity or toxicity towards your kids. Just because our grandma did it to her, my mom. But again, that goes back to like not having access to therapy. There's a lot of things that, it was learned behavior. Very bad learned behavior. So, like my mom was hurt. She didn't like have any guidance or any like particular better response, to like nurture her kids, or her upbringing was pretty negative. But, I love my mom still, but when it comes to like being irritable and like being moody, that's when I have to like disconnect. You can't say like I can't really save a person who's like toxic and don't need any help. And just really hard. It was just that hurt that she is really unresolved and unaddressed. I mean, what do you want me to do? Like, just like keep talking to a moody person who like loves to hurt people? But this is my life, not yours. So I can speak what I want to speak about, whether it's like people can unsubscribe and okay, like I can't even talk about my past life. which is really weird. Okay, I was gonna tell a story about like getting abused and almost delete my mom. I know people quickly took offense to it, and I was actually in my preteens while I was about to do it. Okay, and again, I wouldn't even exist in the MGTOW community if that ever occurred. Duh. So you just gotta like learn, get that through your thick skull. So that being said, trauma correlates sensitivity, and trauma is inevitable, and it's up to us to apply good recovery instead of bad recovery. That being said, I'm Blind Assassin MGTOW. Like, comment, share, subscribe, and I hope you learned something from this video. Alright, peace.